Ready? Good evening, dear friends. Sri Aurobindo Complex Trust extends a very warm welcome to all the participants here, including those who are present online with us on the auspicious occasion of the Mother's Withdrawal Day. Please keep your mobiles in silent mode for the participants here. Today's significance: the mother, the spiritual collaborator of Sri Aurobindo, who has built the Sri Aurobindo Ashram in Pondicherry, established the Sri Aurobindo Society in Pondicherry with all its branches and centers in India and abroad, and Auroville Township, a living experiment in human unity. 17th November, the Mother's Mahasamadhi. 17th November 1973, at 7:25 in the evening, the mother left her body. On 18th November, in the early morning, the mother's body was laid in state on a bed in the meditation room at Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Tens of thousands of disciples and devotees arrived in Pondicherry during the next 3 days to see her physically for the last time. On 20th November, in the morning, the mother's body, after being placed in a casket, was laid in a second chamber of the Samadhi. Nalonikanta Gupta, a devotee, issued the following message the next day: Mother is present amongst us and her work continues. The mother's physical presence has come to an end, and she herself remains in close contact with the earth atmosphere in a supramental body in the subtle physical world. The foundation for a new creation has been laid, and whosoever is today living on earth participates in it, whether he knows it or not, whether he wants it or not. Friends, the message for today: do not allow any outward circumstance to shake the faith in you, for nothing gives greater strength than this faith to go through and arrive at the goal. Knowledge and tapasya, whatever their force, have a less sustaining power. Faith is the strongest staff for the journey. The protection is there over you and the watchful love of the mother. Rely upon it and let your being open more and more to it. Then it will repel attacks and always uphold you. Sri Aurobindo Society, JP Nagar, a branch of Sri Aurobindo Society, Puducherry, is engaged in spreading the teachings of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. Besides Mirambika School for New Age, a full-fledged CBSE school, other regular activities here are meditation, yoga classes, cultural programs, regular study group, exhibitions, teacher training programs, and many more. We also have a beautiful meditation hall upstairs with Sri Aurobindo's sacred relics at the center of this vibrant community. This beautiful cultural exhibition hall, an audio-visual hall for workshops, Sri Ranga, an open-air theater for school functions. You can help us in the divine work here by becoming members of Sri Aurobindo Society. The forms are available at reception and online too. As a member, you get a beautiful colored magazine every month with the mantric writings of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. This is the issue of December 2021, All India Magazine, Law of Karma. By sponsoring our publications and activities, by volunteering your service, etc. Sri Aurobindo Society State Committee, Karnataka, the state headquarters of Sri Aurobindo Society, Puducherry, with about 32 active branches and centers in Karnataka, is also housed here. Well, friends, now we introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Ajit Sabnis. Dr. Ajit Sabnis Member Executive Committee, Member Core Committee, Sri Aurobindo Society, Puducherry, Managing Trustee, Sri Aurobindo Complex Trust, Chairman, Sri Aurobindo Society State Committee, Karnataka, Chairman, Mirambika School, Bangalore, Publisher, Akhil Bharati Patrike, Kannada. He has initiated and conducted several student mentoring programs, teacher training programs across the country. The floor is yours, Dr. Sabnis.
Thank you, Vaishali, and good evening, one and all. It's an honor and privilege to speak about Sri Aurobindo and the Mother and the contribution they have made to the humanity at any point in time. Today's topic, what we have chosen is the road alone. Vaishali has read today's message, which is very pertinent to today's talk. And the topic I have chosen is the road alone, which can be actually understood in two parts. Road alone actually is the spiritual journey of the Mother into the realms of divine consciousness. The first part is her spiritual journey till she met Sri Aurobindo in 1914, and subsequently the second part is her spiritual journey, the responsibility she took up after the departure of Sri Aurobindo in 1950. Though there are some people who say that Sri Aurobindo went into seclusion on 24th November 1926 after the darshan, and after that Mother had to take a lot of responsibilities, especially in terms of administration, the growth of the ashram, the growth of the school, growth of the children, family, the welfare, etc. She had a lot of other responsibilities, but Sri Aurobindo's concrete physical presence was with her at ashram, with everybody at ashram. That made a lot of difference. So in today's talk, let us try to understand what exactly is the role of the Mother. Their spiritual collaboration almost remained for about 35 years, and what they did to us is impossible to grasp for a common mind. Sri Aurobindo and the Mother are truly one in two, with a common spiritual mission. And what that mission, we will let us see little later. In the initial stages, there were quite a few people who had some kind of a hesitation in accepting the Mother as the Supreme Guru, the Mother as the Supreme Mother. In fact, there is a letter from Sri Aurobindo to Pavitrada, where it said, where he very clearly says that it is extremely incorrect to draw a rigid separation between the Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Their mission is one, they are one in two. And in fact, Sri Aurobindo, representing the element of Purusha, predominantly works from the illumined mind level and directly impacts the mental status. Whereas the Mother representing the element of Shakti, works through the psychic being and then works through us and then brings the impacts and then the influences on the human beings. So both these two powers, both these forces, the element of Purusha, the power of Purusha, and the power of Shakti, both are important. So without these two powers acting simultaneously, it is not possible to do integral yoga itself. So this element, there is one thing very interesting to note here, that both of them came with the same mission, but in two separate parts, and then they took up the mission fulfillment of integral yoga in two stages. One stage till Sri Aurobindo left his body, and then afterwards it is the mother's yoga of self. So these are two important criteria. Now let us, even for the moment, we assume that only one of them were to be here amongst the humanity. It would probably have not been possible to fulfill the integral yoga, the fulfillment of Sri Aurobindo's vision of bringing down the supramental for the transformation would not have been possible. So in this way, probably this is pre-planned, predestined by the divine itself, that the next avatar will be a double-fold avatar, as we keep talking about. It is not possible for a common man to even comprehend what Mother and Sri Aurobindo gave us. Establishing upon earth, now we need to look at what is the aim of the integral yoga, and how do we look it from the prism of Sri Aurobindo and Mother's contribution. Now, what is important is, even to understand what they have done to the humanity, we need to roughly understand what is the action we expected from Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. The complete fulfillment of integral yoga calls for the understanding of the working of supramental force. Number two, bringing down that supramental force to effect this transformation in the earth. And this supramental force, or the consciousness force, which in turn will help the establishing the divine life upon earth. If this is the goal of integral education, how do we actually effectuate this? And this is a tremendous task. And Sri Aurobindo did this, and the Mother did this for us, bringing down the supramental force down onto the Earth's atmosphere. Now, how do we go about it? And it is just not possible for this supramental force to come down and act suddenly, isn't it? Now, what is important here is this supramental force, for the complete transformation that is required, it has to be mental, it has to be vital, and then, not the least, even the physical has to be transformed. And this is the work of the supramental force which has descended. What happens is, this supramental force, when it comes down, as I said, with the working of Sri Aurobindo's influence, and it is possible the mental and the vital gets transformed easily in the sense as in comparison. But the greatest resistance comes from the physical part, from the material. And the integral yoga will not fulfill its aim unless all the three aspects, mental, vital, and physical, are transformed. So transforming the physical means the transforming every part of our physical body. The supramental force has to descend into the material life And then only every body cell has to be transformed into, should be transformed, supramentalized. Then only the divine life is possible. For this, the mother came into the picture, and mother offered herself to take forward for this impact. Now, what did the mother do? What is important is to understand what did the mother do. Mother called it as yoga of cells. And this yoga of cells, she also called it as the physical culture. What the physical culture is, that means every body cell has to be transformed, and then the organs have to be transformed. Every part of the body has to be transformed, and thus the physical has to be transformed. Once this transformation, complete transformation takes place, then the fulfillment of integral yoga happens. And this is what the complete transformation comes to. We need to understand this transformation doesn't go through the genetic mutation from outside. This transformation is necessary to happen from within. And this is where the grace, the aspiration, the three steps of triple transformation come into the picture. And this tremendous hard work, this tremendous task was taken up by our masters. This is the preamble to begin with. Let us briefly take a pause here and see what exactly happened in and around 1950. Now, before proceeding any further, I would like to read the passage from Sri Aurobindo's Savitri. This is basically a few minutes back, I referred to a particular state where there was the hesitation to accept mother as the supreme mother. To them, Sri Aurobindo told them that this particular understanding of the mother as the supreme mother and what is her role, we will understand this by reading from this passage. I'm reading this passage from Savitri. In this enormous world standing apart, in the mightiness of her silent spirit's will, in the passion of her soul of sacrifice, her lonely strength facing the universe, affronting fate, ask not man's help nor God's. Alone she is equal to her mighty task, and a star accompanied, astonished by the immensities of space, traveling infinity by its own light. The great are the strongest when they stand alone. A day may come when she must stand up on a dangerous brink of the world's doom and hers, carrying the world's future on her lonely breast, carrying the human hope in a heart-left soul, to conquer or fail on a last desperate verge, alone with death and close to extinction's edge. Her single greatness in the last dire scene, she must cross alone a perilous bridge in time and reach an apex of world destiny, where all is won or all is lost for man. Cry not to heaven, for she alone can save. For this silent force came mission down. In her, the conscious will took human shape. She only can save herself and save the world. What a beautiful passage to explain the role of the mother and to answer to those devotees who had a little hesitation to accept mother as the supreme mother. Now, after understanding the role of the mother as a supreme mother, we need to take a look at the second stage of the mother spiritual journey. It was 5th December 1950, I call it as the hour of God, when Sri Aurobindo was not compelled to leave his body, but it was his choice to leave the body, because he felt that that is more relevant and more effective. So he tells the mother. In fact, earlier to this day, there have been a lot of discussions, dialogues, conversations between the mother and Sri Aurobindo, where each one wants to leave early for the fulfillment of the work. But Sri Aurobindo tells the mother that your body is more capable to do the work, and then I will have to go and work from the subtle planes. And that is how the mother continues. On this day, the hour of God, mother is standing next to Sri Aurobindo's body, which is completely supramentalized, and the light emitting from Sri Aurobindo's body, the supramental light, and mother is standing there in complete silence. Dr. Sanyal, who was treating Sri Aurobindo at that point in time, is also there. And he asked the mother, where is the light you are referring to? Where is the golden light you are referring to? So mother smiles and then keeps her hand on Sanyal's head. And then Sanyal, Dr. Sanyal also, who is a known MBBS doctor, accomplished doctor, he could see the light emanating and the golden light emanating from Sri Aurobindo's body. So this is the scene there. One can visualize the supreme, sacred, serene scene, the divine light emanating from Sri Aurobindo's body. Now what happens? Sri Aurobindo has left only the physical body, his vital, his mental, all the other parts, all the Pranamaya Kosha, the Manomaya Kosha, and all the other parts, Anandamaya Kosha, all these koshas are absolutely intact. He is fully conscious. And when he is conscious, then a supramental light that is accumulated in Sri Aurobindo's physical body, which is there, then this supramental energy gets transferred into the mother's body. There is a reference by Sri Aurobindo. Sometimes in 1949, he talks about the mind of light. The mind of light is actually the physical consciousness, and this physical consciousness gets actually transferred into the mother's body. This mind of light is realized into the mother. Now, 12 days after passing of Sri Aurobindo, or leaving his physical body, 12 days pass by. There is all the rhythm of ashram life is disturbed, and then everybody is shattered, a kind of shattered. Nobody knew that what is going to happen. There were talks that mother would go back, and there were talks that ashram would get closed. Now ashram will get affected. All these things, they kept on talking, but none of these things happened. 12 days after passing away of Sri Aurobindo, leaving his physical body, 12 days after, slowly the ashram got back into its normalcy. Mother actually gives another 9 days for the complete ashram to come back to its normalcy. So this is what is important, is mother slowly takes charge of Sri Aurobindo ashram, and after that, the first and foremost importance she gives is to the school. She is very confident about transforming the children. She always thought that it is the children who are the torch bearers of the future. She in fact calls them the new-eyed children, the star-eyed children. And she gives a lot of importance to education. She establishes the International Education University, now which is subsequently, it got changed to its name, Sri Aurobindo International Center for Education. Then she stressed upon the integral education. She wrote many articles in Bulletin, which subsequently got converted, which was translated into a book called On Education. It was not that mother did not have spiritual experiences earlier. All of us know, even in the first stage, which we can just take a look back, turn a page backwards. Even when she was at the age of 5 years, she started her spiritual experiences. At the age of 7, she could understand the spiritual experiences which made a lot of difference. At the age of 12, she feels, she knows that directly or indirectly, Krishna is one of the gods, very important godheads. And then subsequently, when she comes and meets Sri Aurobindo for the first time on 29th March 1914, she realizes that it is the same Krishna whom she used to dream and whom she used to consider as one of the godheads. So these things are absolutely important. And subsequently also, after she met Sri Aurobindo between 1914 for the first time, and she went back, she had to go back because of the World War, and she comes back on 24th April 1920 for the final time. All these experiences of the mother have their own relation, contextual relation with the spiritual experience of what she undergoes. No, but there are 4 or 5 important milestones which one has to understand from this. The mother, with all her spiritual experiences, even in her younger age, there are 4 or 5 important milestones before she came to meet Sri Aurobindo for the first time. What are these important milestones? The first, I mean, not necessarily in the order, I'm just recollecting them. The first and foremost important milestone is the mother meeting Max Theon and his wife Alma, who were considered as the greatest occultists, and she learned a lot of occultism. She was interested in occultism. Mother learned a lot of occultism. In addition to, she was a master painter, then she was a dramatist, she was a pianist, and then musician. With all these things, she was also interested in occultism. So this is one important matter, important milestone in her life. The second important milestone is what is important. The second important milestone is she wanted to see the possibilities of this occultism. So when she is in Algeria, she actually virtually travels to Paris, meets her friends, in fact, even writes a note, writes a poem, a short poem, and then goes into the public transport system and then comes back to Algeria. Now she knows that it is possible to travel from one place to the other place, not necessarily with a physical body. Even your vital and mental sheets can travel. Afterwards, she doesn't repeat this occultism activity till only once during when she is in the ashram and when some adverse elements around ashram start pelting stones at Sri Aurobindo's room. And it is then when mother uses her occult forces and then sees that those elements, the adverse elements for throwing stones, they go back. So these are some of the important aspects, the milestones of the mother. Now, what happens after she comes back to the after the departure of Sri Aurobindo in 1950? Suddenly, there were a lot of responsibilities come on the mother. She takes up the education which we already discussed, and for the next few years, the mother, in fact, for the next 2 decades, she actually concentrates on the physical transformation of her body, along with the tremendous administrative work which happens. She establishes a school, different centers across the country, and then she also, around 19 60s, she gives a watchword to the children when she is extremely busy with integral education. Her watchwords were invade the invisible, dare the impossible, accomplish the unbelievable. These were the watchwords given by the mother during, in the initial stages. And the other important thing also she gave, because she was parallelly doing the physical culture, the experimentation, the transformation of the physical on her own, she equally gave a lot of importance to physical education. Now, it was during this period, it was in 1952, 6th January, she inaugurates the International University Center, as I told you earlier. And she also, on 1st May 1951, she acquires the sports ground and she establishes the entire sports activities there. And somewhere very close to this, she also gives the famous hymn, which is known actually for the children as a prayer for the students, makers of the hero warriors we aspire to become. That even our children sing nowadays. Almost all Oro schools, they make this, they sing this prayer. In 1955 was the period when ashram had a lot of activities. It was between that period, in the year 1955, a lot of politicians also visited. Nehru visited twice in 1955, along with the then President Babu Rajendra Prasad, Kamraj, Indira Gandhi. So she always had lot of outside works other than the inner work which she was actually doing. Then the effect of supramental had its own impact on every human element, directly or indirectly. Even during this period, mother used to have a lot of spiritual experiences. And every time she had this spiritual experience, she used to pass it on to the devotees, to the sadhaks, in the form of special messages, New Year messages, and the other messages which are special, because in those days, the significant days were not yet completely formed. Then in 1960, she forms Sri Aurobindo Society to take forward the teachings of Sri Aurobindo and the mother to the world. She says ashram is dedicated. Ashram sadhaks who are in ashram practicing integral yoga has a specific task to do. And then she establishes, incorporates as a society, in registered society in 1960 to take forward the teachings of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Come 8 September 1965, the first indication of starting the international city as a dedication, as an offering to Sri Aurobindo's ideal of human unity. That is the first seed idea. The mother expresses it to have a model city, model international city, where it's all its people of Auroville. Auroville was the name given subsequently, and to say peacefully. And this actually got materialized in 1968, as we all know. So 28th February, she lays foundation for the inaugurated the international city called Auroville. It was on 1169, the foundation for Matra Mandir is laid. I was lucky. I happened to be there on that day. I was 8 years old, 9 years old at that point in time. So I was there. It was a brilliant, I still remember those, that particular day. And I was also there for the inauguration of the foundation laying for the Auroville Foundation, where 120 countries came and then poured the country's soil and the lotus pond which is there. Now we are almost up to 1968, 1969. Then the mother inaugurates on 15th August 1972. Mother inaugurates Sri Aurobindo's birth centenary. And then between 1972 and then 1973, lot of things happen. She physically becomes weak. gets adverse effect, gets attacked or the influenced by the adverse forces. But with all this, then she also feels that her job is done. But what was the job? It was the descent of supramental force on 29th February 1956. So 6 years later, after Sri Aurobindo left his physical body, this descent of supramental force, this descent of supramental consciousness comes and stays into the subtle atmosphere of the earth. It is not possible for, as I said, even for this supramental force to act. It has descended, but how does it act? It still needs one adhara, one body, one physical body, where it comes and then gets itself anchored. And this becomes absolutely important. But this is where the mother offers her body to act as adhara for the supramental force to act. Just imagine that our human body is like a glass, and the glass, you start pouring water from a big mug into the glass. What happens? The glass fills and then it overflows. This is exactly happens. The supramental consciousness or the supramental force which comes down, has descended, is infinite. And it wants one physical body or the one adhara to act. And then it gets poured into the mother's body. Mother's body gets supramentalized. And when this supramentalized excess supramental energy, so to say, to make our common man understand, this energy, Mother and Sri Aurobindo both very categorically states that this supramentalization is very contagious. Once it is outside, they say it's only one body that is required. One complete, perfect human being, human body on planet Earth is required to see that this supramental force goes forward. And from that body, it goes to it. Then again, I'm coming back that critical mass. Those people, few people who are chosen ones, not necessarily those ones who are only in ashram. Mother makes it very clear. They need not be only from the ashram. There may be few people from the outside world who are there. For them, this impact will be felt. We really don't know who are those people we are too naive to understand all these things. But it is that adhara Mother became herself. And then she gets completed and she says, I had received it, but now it is for the humanity to receive it. But how the humanity to receive it? Then it is where she repeats Sri Aurobindo's words and then says that probably the hastening of this supramental force, or the society getting supramentalized, or even the critical mass getting supramentalized, is not possible at this point in time, because the human beings are still completely ignorant, not fit to receive this supramentalization force. We are still governed by the reason, we are still governed by the logic, we are still governed by the analytical mind. And these are actually the characteristics of an ordinary mind, which only separates and then sees. We are not completely surrendered. We have not been able to completely surrender ourselves to that supreme force, to the Mother, in all her, in all her humility at our highest command. It is not possible. So we need to wait for some more time. I don't know in what form the next avatar comes, but all we have to do is follow the mantra given by Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, that to fulfill this, or to become for the transformation, in addition to all these things, one of the most important things is that supreme faith in the Supreme Mother. So surrender, aspiration are equally important for all of us to walk in the path laid by Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. I would like to read lastly this particular passage when, after the departure of Sri Aurobindo, when Sri Aurobindo's body was being brought down from the first floor to the Samadhi area, that is where she gives this prayer, which is now inscribed on the Samadhi. To thee, as a gratitude to Sri Aurobindo, to thee who has been the material envelope of our master, to thee our infinite gratitude. Before thee, who has done so much for us, who has worked, struggled, suffered, hoped, endured so much. Before thee, who has built all, attempted all, prepared, achieved all for us. Before thee, we bow down and implore that we may never forget, even for a moment, all we owe to thee. This is the supreme expression, the prayer as our offering, as a mark of gratitude to Sri Aurobindo. This is the least we can do, is to read this passage every day and then express our gratitude to our masters. For us, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother are not too different. Whenever we use Sri Aurobindo or the Mother, it is the same, because they are all complementary to each other. When I take Sri Aurobindo's name, it is immaterial. It is understood that the Mother is, as a force, is a complementary force to us. A few shall see what none yet understands. God shall grow up while the wise men talk and sleep. For man shall not know the coming till its hour, and belief shall not till the work is done. So with these few words, I will conclude today's talk. Let us pray so that our masters guide us, we go in the right steps. Thank you very much. Yeah, if there are any questions, yes. Thank you.
Dr. Ajit Sabnis, through his beautiful talk on the road alone, has almost explained the Mother's biography, taken us through the mantric lines of Sri Aurobindo's Savitri. It has helped us understand Sri Aurobindo and the Mother at a much more deeper level. We thank him once again for this lovely session and wish him all success on the new project, the Oro School, an integral education school at Yedumudu Village, Kanakpura Main Road. Registration for admissions are already open from nursery to 7th standard for the next academic year, 2024 to 2025. The Mother says, just see, look at me, I am here, come back in my new body, divine, transformed, and glorious. And I am the same Mother, still human. Do not worry. Do not be concerned about your own self, your progress and realization, nor about others. I am here. Look at me. Gaze into me. Enter into me wholly. Merge being. Lose yourself into my love with your love. You will see all problems solved, everything done. Forget all else. Forget the world. Remember me alone. Be one with me, with my love. These are the beautiful words from the collected works of Nalini Kanta Gupta. Here the mother says. Also the Sri Aurobindo Ashram message card for today, it reads out, the mother, always to know her and live always in her presence, by Sri Aurobindo. Well, friends, our next program will be on next Friday, that is 24th November, Sri Aurobindo's Siddhi Day. We have collective meditation in the morning from 7:30 to 7:50 a.m. And in the evening, a talk here at 5:15 by Dr. N. Nagendra from Sakshi, that is Sri Aurobindo Kapali Shastri Institute of Vedic Sciences. The topic is the Siddhi Day and its relevance to our life. All are welcome. Well, friends, we close this session with 1 minute silence.